Good evening. We have quite a few of you joining us tonight. I see the number of participants increasing, but welcome to Take the Next Step session to the College of Charleston Office of Admissions. Congratulations on receiving your offer of admissions to CofC, excuse me. My name is Devin Thompson. I'm with the Visitor Experience team here at the College of Charleston, and I am joined by some fantastic colleagues tonight who will be presenting the session and also helping to monitor the chat tonight during the event. We have a fantastic overview of what your next steps towards enrollment at the College of Charleston will be. So use this time, really soak in the information, and then also use us as your resources. If you have questions tonight, we're here to answer them. On that note, we will be moderating a Q&A session following the presentation that will be led by one of our counselors, Kadeem Sabari, today. I'm going to let Kadeem introduce himself in just a moment, but if you have questions throughout the presentation, drop them in the Q&A and we will take it from there, and we'll either answer them along the way or we'll answer them live after the presentation with Kadeem is finished. So on that note, Kadeem, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you get started.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Devin. Hello, everyone. My name is Kadeem Sabari. I'm an Assistant Director of Regional Admissions, and I am based out of the DFW area here in the great state of Texas. And I mainly work with students who are in Texas, the West, the Midwest, and some students in Georgia. So I'm gonna go through this presentation, and if you have any questions, make sure you either are listening closely or put them in the chat. And like Devin said, we will moderate them as we move through. So first thing first, as always, congratulations on being accepted into our Cougar family. We're hoping to get as many of you as possible to join us in the fall, but the first step is submitting the application and getting accepted. So congratulations once again on becoming a future member of our Cougar family. So the first thing you'll need to do as an admitted student is you need to pay your non-refundable enrollment deposit. This is letting us know that you are indeed committing to becoming a Cougar in the fall of 2023. And so first things first, this is a non-refundable deposit. So what you would need to, well, if you don't know what non-refundable means, that means if you give us the $400 to let us know that you are going to be joining our family, can't get that back because it is non-refundable. But if you want to go ahead and make that commitment, you'll need to log into your portal with the CofC credentials that are found within your admissions portal. You'll need to click on the thing that looks like a debit card that is going to be your e-bill account, and then click pay your deposit. And then it'll ask you what semester. It's going to be fall 23, and you'll click on undergraduate deposit. And again, it is a $400 non-refundable enrollment deposit, and that is securing your spot in the class of fall 23. And once again, it is non-refundable. So if you are really, really sure, go ahead and make that commitment. But if you're not sure, ask some questions to figure out what's going on, and hopefully we'll get you in the fall of 2023 class because it is non-refundable. We can go on to the next one. So after you pay your non-refundable deposit, you can then apply for housing. That housing application for committed students did open up in February. One thing I will say is don't fret, because as long as you submit your application by May 1st, you are going to be guaranteed housing for the fall 2023 semester. The housing fee is $50. It's another non-refundable deposit. So in order for you to apply for housing, you will need to pay that first $400 non-refundable deposit, and then you will need to pay the $50 non-refundable housing application fee. And you are guaranteed housing as a freshman as long as you submit that application before May 1st. If you have any specific questions about the dorms, what they look like, anything like that, I always recommend going on the website and checking that out. The housing department does a wonderful job of putting so much information on that website. And then if you're still unsure, you can contact them directly. Their housing information and the contact information is going to be on their website. And you can go right down there to go.cofc.edu/apply for housing for more information. So you guys are in the last stretch of high school, meaning you're going to be getting diplomas, you're going to be graduating. That's going to be so exciting. but you need to make sure that you submit the paperwork after you do that. So once you graduate, you're going to be getting your final transcripts. All that's going to be finalized. You will need to submit that to the College of Charleston. Once you commit to CofC, you'll need to be submitting your final transcripts. So if you've taken an AP class, if you've taken an IB class, if you've taken dual enrollment, we do accept all of those credits. So if you've taken any IB tests or AP tests, you will need to submit your final scores through those testing agencies, and you'll need to submit them to the College of Charleston. Because if you take all those tests and you forget to submit them, you may have to retake some courses because you are some very smart students. And I know a lot of you have passed those exams and you could be getting college credit, but you have to submit them. So once you graduate high school and get those final transcripts, you take those AP exams, those IB exams, make sure you submit all of that to the College of Charleston. We'll need all those official test scores so that we can do the credit evaluations, make sure that you get the credit you deserve for taking those classes, passing those tests. And an important note here at the bottom is that any final high school transcripts and testing scores of the like, they have to be submitted directly from the high school and the testing agency. So for admissions, you were able to submit your unofficial transcripts, able to submit your unofficial scores if you took the SAT or ACT, and that's great for admissions. But for the final scores, in order to enroll and get those credits evaluated, you would need to submit all final transcripts, all final test scores through the respective testing agencies and your high schools. So we do have a variety of funding sources through the College of Charleston, different scholarships, whether they are alumni-based, athletic-based, departmental-based, and then we also do have federal and state aid as well. So that can, if you submit the FAFSA, make sure you submit that FAFSA if you have not done so already. I highly encourage it. Even if you may think your family is not going to get anything, I always tell students that it's better to have the offer and not need it than to need it and not have it. So make sure you have submitted your FAFSA if you have not done so already. If you have already submitted your FAFSA and you're now accepted, some of those packages should be coming out. Actually, I believe either you've already gotten it or they should be coming out later this week and beyond. So make sure that you have submitted the FAFSA if you have not done so already. The different types of aid do differ if you are an in-state student versus an out-of-state student. So if you see something on the website, make sure you are reading that differential to know whether or not if it's for in-state students, out-of-state students alone, or if it's for everybody involved. Excuse me, I can't talk today. So this is our Cougar Scholarship Awarding System. This is the CSAS. You should have gotten information about this earlier or seen it on our website if you were interested in any departmental scholarships. Just wanted to let everyone know that that deadline has passed. As you see, that deadline was February 1st. So if you have already applied for that, you should be finding out, excuse me, if you're awarded any departmental scholarships this month or early next month. Depending on the department, some submit those awards earlier rather than later. It just kind of depends on the department and what you applied for, but you should be finding out sometime later this month or into early next month if you were given any type of departmental scholarship. But I did want to reiterate that the deadline for those have passed for incoming freshmen. So if you go on there and you see something, those are all for upperclassmen returning students because the incoming freshman deadline has passed. So this is some information for you all for the fall of 2023. So make sure you are listening very closely because this is very specific information for you all. So first things first is tuition and fees. A lot of people are always asking, well, what am I paying now? What's going to happen? So this is our current tuition and fee structure for the school year that is currently happening. As you see, is 2022-2023. So first things first is that the new tuition fee set time is going to be in July. So Once July hits, our Board of Trustees will be deciding what our tuition is going to be for in-state, out-of-state students and the like. So make sure you are really staying on top of that July day, and make sure you're staying on top of the announcements, because it will come out. But as you can see, this is what it was looking like for this incoming year, excuse me. Oh, I cannot talk today. This is what it's looking like for this current year. So as you can see, South Carolina tuition is about $12,500. Out-of-state students is about $35,000. Tuition and fees are pretty much set. Once they're set by the Board of Trustees, that's pretty much going to be the average tuition for all of those students. As you can see, some asterisks are on this chart, such as room and board, such as books and supplies, transportation, things like that. The reason those have asterisks beside them is because that varies depending on you as the student and where you live, what books you decide to get, if you decide to drive or fly home, how often you do that. Those are all averages for those types of students. For instance, if you live in the most expensive dorm throughout the entire year, that's going to be a higher cost than if you lived in a cheaper dorm. For books and supplies, if you bought new books throughout the entire year, that's going to be a higher cost than if you, say, rented them from Amazon or you rented them from Chegg, things like that. So all those asterisks deal with personal choices. Another personal choice is also meal plan. We have various meal plan options that come at different prices, which you can find on the website. So that's why all those asterisks come into play, because those are all dependent on your own personal choices. But the tuition and fees are usually pretty much set. I will say one thing about tuition that some students and parents don't realize is that the more classes you take, the higher your tuition is going to be. So take that into account. Make sure you take a nice schedule. You don't overload yourself, because the more classes you take, the higher that tuition is going to be. So that's kind of a very quick run through about the tuition and fees. The most important thing is, once July hits, you'll be getting more information. There'll be more announcements about our tuition and fees for the fall 2023 year. So make sure you're really staying on top of those announcements there. So we're going to touch very briefly on one of the events that the Honors College has. If you've already applied to the Honors College, you've either been accepted or you've been waitlisted. This is one of the events that they have going on. If you could switch to the next slide, I'm going to talk about it very briefly there. So they have the Honors Experience Day as an on-campus event for students to really interact with the current faculty, some students that are there, and most importantly, your future classmates. If you've already been accepted into the Honors College, that Honors Experience Day is on March 17th. Space is limited. They have a deadline of March 10th. So you need to make sure you register by March 10th, maybe even earlier, to secure your spot for the Honors Experience Day. If you've been waitlisted and you're not sure how that's looking like, make sure you reach out to the Honors College specifically. Their email is at the bottom of this slide. And then if you decided you didn't really want to apply for the Honors College this year, but you want to apply next year, you can apply to the Honors College during your freshman year. There's more information on the website. So if you didn't apply this year, but you're thinking about doing it for your freshman year, during your freshman year, check out the Honors website. They have more information there, and anything specific, make sure you check out that email. That's going to be your best bet to get the most accurate information about the Honors College and their process there. So orientation is going to be open early March. Let me pull up the date just to make sure. It's going to be open on March 15th. So in order for you to register for orientation, you do have to already pay that $400 non-refundable enrollment deposit to confirm your spot in the fall 2023 class. So the earlier you pay that enrollment deposit, the earlier you will be able to register for orientation. Each date is on a first come, first served basis. It's a 2-day, 1-night experience for all of our students who are going to be coming in the fall of 2023. If you would like to stay on campus, because it is a 2-day, 1-night thing, there are limited spaces for students who wish to stay overnight on campus. Even if you don't get one of those spots, don't worry, because we are in the middle of downtown Charleston. So there's a lot of housing options around that are very close, some even within walking distance of campus. But again, if you really want to get that experience and stay on campus, make sure you register early, because the earlier you get it, and secure that date, you'll be able to go ahead and secure that overnight housing as well. Make sure you use the checklist, the orientation checklist as you see on the PowerPoint slide there, because it'll tell you all the things that you need to do before you come to orientation, such as submitting your final high school transcripts and test scores, as we mentioned earlier. Because during orientation, you're going to be doing your class advising. You're going to be signing up for classes for the fall. And if you want to make sure that you get all the right classes at the times that you want, you need to make sure that you have all your test scores sent in, all of your transcripts sent in, because your academic advisors will be using those to make sure that you're in all the proper classes. So again, if you're not sure about the checklist for orientation or what you need to do, make sure you take a screenshot, take a picture, do what you need to do, go on the website, because we do have an orientation checklist available for all of our admitted students. Thank you. So we do have some pre-college programs available as well. So the first one is going to be Spectra. This is going to be for our underrepresented minority groups. It's a summer program where students can enroll in classes, start earning college credit over the summer, live on campus, and it's a way to really help get acclimated to the new experience that you're about to have in the fall. Like I said, this is Spectra. You'll participate in a variety of programs, activities, really start to build that community aspect before you come in the fall. And so if you're interested in the Spectra program, the information is at the bottom of the website, and definitely check them out there. And then we do have one other pre-college program I'm not going to mention on the next slide for our students. So another one that we have is the Cougar Excursion. It's a 3-day, 2-night overnight interactive program, and it's to help you increase that campus knowledge and facilitate a sense of community. This is through our leadership center, and as you see at the bottom, there's the website for you to look through, kind of see what it's going to talk about, what you're going to be doing. It is $250 that covers your meals, your housing, any activity fees, and your transportation. And again, that is Cougar Excursion. It's a 3-day, 2-night program through the Leadership Center. And again, there's a website there at the bottom. So if you need to go online, take a screenshot, take a picture so you remember it. But it is called the Cougar Excursion. And then last but not least is, if you have not yet visited the College of Charleston, make sure you come out and visit us. We do have some admitted student days events coming up. We do have one in March. I'm pretty sure that one may be full though. But if you're interested in getting on the wait list, definitely do that, because in the case that some people do cancel because things come up, if you're on that wait list, you could get a spot there. That's on March 18th. We do have virtual admitted students events as well. So definitely check us out there in the virtual visitor center. And if none of that works out at the end of the day, you can still always come visit the campus, sign up for a campus tour, go through our website, see what dates work for you and what spots we have available. And even if we don't have a spot available for a tour, we do have self-guided tours, which is a great perk because not a lot of schools do self-guided tours. But we'll give you a brochure, show you different places on campus, so that way you can still get the experience of coming to Charleston, having a wonderful time, seeing the campus as well. And sometimes self-guided is better for some people. Some people prefer that because they get to do things at their own pace. Either way, make sure you come to campus, come visit the college, come visit the admissions office, because we are always willing to talk to our admitted students, especially to get you anything that you're looking for, and also get you in the fall 2023 class. So that's the end of that presentation there. We're about to open it up for Q&A. Thank you all so much for listening, taking notes, doing whatever you needed to do. Keeping up with me, because I did ramble a lot and I did mess up some words, but you know, it's okay. That's what the PowerPoint is for. Definitely keep in touch with us. Here's our admissions email at the bottom. Here's our phone number. Definitely keep in contact. If you're big on social media, we have TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Definitely check out some of our stuff. We have great content coming out for you guys at all times. Check it out at CofC Admissions. And we're gonna open it up for the Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Kadeem. And I'm starting to see some questions pop in the chat now, so we'll jump in. Our first question is one that we get a lot, so we definitely going to answer this one live, and it is around parking on campus. So Kadeem, I'm going to throw this one at you, and then if there's any along the way, I'm happy to help as well, and I'm sure Tina is too. But this question asks, is it true that cars that freshman students are not allowed to have their cars on campus?
So as a freshman, you are not allowed to have your car on campus. College of Charleston, we are in the middle of downtown Charleston. And as you can imagine, parking is it's a little rough sometimes. So what we do is we do a credit-based eligibility system, and that you have to have at least 60 credits in order to be eligible for a parking pass if you do live on campus. Check out our parking website because it'll give you all the details about how that works and how you can secure that parking pass. But if you just are a freshman coming in with no CFC credits, then the likelihood of you getting a car living on campus is pretty much zero. But we're in the middle of downtown Charleston. You can walk pretty much anywhere you need to go, including CVS, Target, Starbucks, coffee shops, eateries. So you may not be able to have a car, but you really won't need a car because you can walk anywhere you need to go.
Perfect. Thanks, Kadeem. Okay, our next question is asking, how do you log into your student portal?
So in order to log into your student portal, whenever you submitted your application, you would have gotten an email with all the information and links about how to log into your student portal. So something that does happen, especially if you used a school email, is that unfortunately sometimes it gets sent to spam because, security purposes, making sure, nobody's trying to hack the systems. And so sometimes those emails do get automatically bumped to your spam, but you should have gotten an email whenever you apply to the College of Charleston with all the information about how to log into your student portal. And so if you did not get that email, again, check your spam first. I always tell people check your spam. And sometimes we just delete emails by accident. It's not the end of the world, I promise. Just email your admissions counselor and tell them that you don't have your portal email, and then we can get all of that figured out for you. But that email that you got when you applied has all the information about how to log into your portal and where to go.
Thank you, Kadeem. We had a question that I'm going to answer. Again, this is Devin Thompson from the Visitor Experience team here at CofC, and it was a question about the difference between build your own campus tour and a regular tour day. And this is a great question. And generally, our daily campus tours that we offer several times a day, Monday through Friday. These campus tours are led by a student tour guide, a member of our Charleston 40 tour organization. They take you around some key spots of campus, and the tour guide gives you an overview at each stop along the way. You're typically in a group of about, depending on the day, it could be 30 guests to 60 guests. Whereas a build your own campus tour day is offered as an expanded visit opportunity. You go generally the same route as the guided tour would take you, but on a build your own campus tour day, you also have the additional advantage of being able to speak with faculty members, deans, assistant deans, and students from each of our academic schools. This option to speak to these academic schools is not available on the daily campus tour. On the Build Your Own Campus Tour Day, you are moving at your own pace. You're not guided. Again, you're moving at your own discretion between each of the stops on our map. So they're definitely different. And it's up to the family that is registering to decide which option will be best for their student. But if it's important to you to have that one-on-one time with our academic programs and representatives, you may opt for Build Your Own Campus Tour. Great question. Thanks so much for that. Okay, let's see. Our next question asks, when are incoming students due, I think, to move in for the fall semester is what this one is inquiring. Kadeem?
Yes, so move-in dates are going to be set by the housing department. I actually had just looked this up earlier. So if you go onto the housing website, they will have information regarding move-in. Typically, it is by appointment only, but those dates for the fall 23 semester have not been set yet. So if you're interested in when those move-in dates are, definitely keep up to date with the housing department, because they'll be updating the website with more information regarding when move-in is for the fall 23 semester. But definitely check out the housing website, and it has all the information laid out for you right there.
Thanks, Kadeem. We had a question regarding Greek life and what the percentage of Greek life is on campus.
So for those interested in Greek life, if you are interested in that, it is going to be through our student center. They do have they have a whole website devoted to those interested in Greek life, how the process works, what are the reasons that some people join Greek life there. I can't give you a direct percentage per se as how many students are involved in Greek life, but we do have a number of different Greek organizations. You'll find them on the website regarding fraternity, sorority life. We have different types of Greek organizations. And then we also have some who are your non-traditional Greek organizations as well that you can find through our student organization database. And so they have information for those who are interested in joining and when recruitment is for the fall and stuff like that. It is typically sometime in August. It's sometime mid to late August usually. And it's one of those things similar to housing that whenever the time gets closer, they'll update the website with when the specific dates are. But they do have information as far as contacting the Office of Fraternity Sorority Life. They have a phone number and email there. So definitely check it out. Check out some of those Greek organizations. So that way, when the time comes, you'll have some questions prepped and ready for them whenever that information becomes available.
Thank you, Kadeem. Let's see. Our next question asks, excuse me, if a student has a 504 plan, who should they talk to?
If you have a 504 plan, that would be our Office of Student Disabilities. Let me double check that really quick because I don't want to tell you the wrong name of that. It'll be our Center of Disability Services. So you'll need to register with the Center of Disability Services. They will tell you all the paperwork that you need to submit to them to get any accommodations or anything like that checked in and registered with the College of Charleston system. So again, that's going to be your Center of Disability Services, and they will give you all the information about what paperwork is needed for your accommodations, whatever you've had through high school. They'll give you all that information, then you'll just submit that to them. So that way that can be distributed to any professors as needed. And again, that's a Center of Disability Services.
Thanks, Kadeem. We have a question regarding FAFSA and financial aid information. When can students expect to receive their financial aid package information, including any funding from FAFSA?
If you filled out your FAFSA by March 1st, which I believe is the priority deadline that was set by the Financial Aid Office, if you filled it out by that priority date, you should be finding out sometime this week. They should start distributing let me rephrase that. They should start distributing packages sometime this week. Due to the heavy influx of students, not everybody gets them at the same time. So they should start distributing those financial aid packages sometime this week. Like I said, if you filled it out by March 1st. If you filled it out, let's say yesterday, then you may not find out for a while because again, they're going to go through the order of priority for those who met the priority deadline. So if you, like I said, if you submitted it by March 1st, you should be finding out sometime this month.
Thank you, Kadeem. Let's see. We have answered this a few times, I think, but just circling back, can you touch on if freshmen are required to live on campus?
Freshmen are not required to live on campus. That's one of the beauties of being in the middle of downtown Charleston and in a city that's such a big tourism city. There's a lot of different housing options for students available to them. So as a freshman, you don't have to live on campus. This is completely up to you and your parents. It's your decision. But sometimes some people, if they know people who are going to be moving to College of Charleston, they get an apartment starting their freshman year, and then they just go from there. But as a freshman coming in, you are not required to live on campus.
And just to piggyback off that a little bit, while you're not required to live on campus, a large majority of our freshmen do live on campus.
Mm-hmm.
We're certainly not a commuters kind of campus environment here. Students tend to live on campus that freshman year. But as Kadeem said, there are always a small percentage of students that opt to live off campus. But if you want that really true college experience, a chance to get tied into your community and build friends and build relationships early on, the campus environment to live on campus is the best way to do that for sure. Okay, let's see. Jumping back to Greek life, we had a question about how do you register to participate in sorority recruitment or fraternity recruitment before classes start.
Ooh, sorry. Fraternity sorority life. If you're interested in recruitment and wanting to know information about that, if you go on the website, they have if you just type in fraternity sorority life on the College of Charleston website, they do have a website, a webpage dedicated to recruitment. It'll talk to you about what the process is looking like, any fees associated with that. There'll also be a link to register for it. It has not been updated for the fall 2023 class yet. So as they start figuring out those dates in that process, it will be updated. But they do have information in terms of how to contact the Office of Fraternity Sorority Life, and they do have an email for Pan-Hellenic Sororities recruitment that you could always ask questions to. So I would just keep track of that website. Again, go on the CofC website, the general website, and type in fraternity and sorority life, and you will be able to find all the different types of Greek life organizations that we do have. And then you'll find a webpage dedicated to sorority recruitment if that's what you're interested in, and just different stuff that they did for the fall 2022 year. And again, once that gets updated for fall 23, you'll see the most accurate information that applies to you all.
Thanks, Kadeem. We're getting a lot of questions about what date the first day of classes will be this fall. And just to clarify, the first full day of classes will be held on Tuesday, August 22nd. And move-in will be held between Friday, August the 18th, and Sunday, August the 20th. You'll certainly receive more information about that. It is a whole well-oiled machine and process. So it will be specific to your residence hall, and housing will provide all of that information to you once your res hall information is determined. Again, if you are participating in a special program such as Spectra or Cougar Excursion or sorority recruitment, your move-in dates would be a little bit different, but the general student population outside of anyone participating in those programs, you would be looking at between August 18th and August 20th to move in. Okay. We have a question about virtual coursework, and Kadeem, either you or I can answer it, but it asks, are students able to take all virtual classes for their first semester instead of living on campus?
I'll let you take that one.
Sure. A quick answer to that is no. There are certainly some great things to come out of COVID, and we have certainly expanded some of our virtual course options, but we are not structured for students to take a full semester of coursework or a full-time course load, all year or semester, anything like that, fully virtual at this time. Okay. Our next question asks, what's the average classroom size?
Our average classroom size for students within their major are going to be about 23 students per professor. And as I mentioned, that's going to be for students who are within their major. If you're taking a general like history class or a general biology class or anything like that, those classes would be a tad bit larger. And I say a tad bit because we don't ever get to classes where you have like 300 students per class for your general classes. They're just going to be a little bit larger than that 23-to-1 type deal. So once you start getting into your major specific courses, it's going to be about 23-to-1. But you can't expect something larger for your general English classes, your general biology, general education courses in general. Hopefully that provided some clarity there, and hopefully that also made sense.
Thanks, Thanks, Kadeem. That was very helpful. Let's see. I just wanted to jump. We have a lot of questions being asked about specific housing questions, and these are really good questions. And I just want to let you all know you'll be receiving an invitation here soon to participate in a virtual event with Campus Housing on March 30th at 4 p.m. If you can't attend the session live, it will be recorded and sent out to you. But a lot of the questions that you all are asking will be covered in depth and then some with the Director of Housing and other representatives from the housing team. So keep that date on your radar, March 30th, again at 4 p.m. We know some of you that are on West Coast time, that is not totally ideal. And for those of you on East Coast time, that's still going to be in the middle of the workday for some of you, but it's geared for students and parents. And again, it will be recorded. So if you're not able to join live or join with your student live, it'll be recorded and sent out to all who are invited. Let's see. We have a few more minutes here, so I'm just kind of going through some questions here. Let's see. We had another question about virtual coursework. Virtual classes that are offered are not offered in place of the in-person experience. It's more of there as a backup plan, if you will, like supplemental if someone if the professor is sick, they may still be able to teach the course from wherever they are instead of having to cancel the class altogether. But no, we're not offering the full course load like that, as said earlier. Thanks for that question. Is the $400 deposit due May 1st for transfer students as well?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the other questions, so I honestly did not hear what your question was. Could you repeat that for me?
Sure. It asks if the $400 deposit is due May 1st for transfer students as well.
I want to say yes. Don't quote me on that. I'm actually going to double check that. Transfer students, your enrollment deposit, it looks like you have to pay yours by the end of July for transfer students. I'm like, yep, found it. Transfer students, your non-refundable deposit is due July 31st. Sorry, I had to look that up. I actually don't work with transfer students often, so I didn't want to tell you a lie because that would be my biggest fear. But yes, transfer students, if you are a transfer student, your enrollment deposit is due by July 31st.
Thanks, Kadeem. All right. Kadeem, I am going to answer a quick question in just a moment, but do you mind finding the link to share with everyone so that to take them directly to the orientation website so they can take a peek at orientation dates? And we're getting quite a few questions about that. And I know that'll be helpful for everyone to have that link on hand. Sorry, I lost the question that I had in front of me. We had a question about average classroom size. On average, our classroom size is about 26 to 30 students. Obviously, that will vary from some, you may have a introductory level course that is a little bit larger, or you may have a more specialized course as you move up in your major that's a little bit smaller. But the fantastic thing about CofC courses is that all of our programs are professor-led. You won't have a TA teaching any of your courses. You may have TAs and graduate assistants available for supplemental instruction, which is like a tutoring class that's optional for students to attend, but all of our programs are professor-led, and we're really proud about that. Let's see, we had another question about housing, if it's available all 4 years. Housing is available if you fill out the housing application and pay the housing application fee each year on the deadline as you progress through the College of Charleston. But generally, we find that most students start to move off campus around their by their junior year or senior year and opt to not live on campus all 4 years. But certainly if that was something that you wanted to explore, if you fill out the housing application on time, the housing office would work with you to find those options for you. All right. We have just a few more minutes here. So if you have any additional questions, now is the time to drop those in the chat. We're trying to get to all of these outstanding questions here. And Cougar excursion dates, I believe, have been posted. Kadeem, did you cover those specific dates earlier?
I don't believe it had the specific dates on there. So I can pull those up. Also, is it possible that you could go back to the slide regarding tuition and fees? We got a lot of questions about that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And then Cougar excursion, let me see if they have those dates available for.
So we'll hang here for just a moment on the tuition and fees.
So they don't have any dates specifically for the Cougar excursion for 2023. They don't have those up yet. I can say for reference that last fall, they were the weekend of August 19th through the 21st. So again, this was for the fall 2022. It was August 19th through the 21st. So I can't guarantee that it is going to be the same for this upcoming fall, but it will probably be around the same time frame. So on the website for Cougar excursion, that's the first thing you'll see is all those dates from the 2022 semester. So it should be around that same general time. And then just keep your eye out on that website because they will update it as they get all their I's dotted and T's crossed for the 2023 Cougar excursion.
Thank you, Kadeem.
Mm-hmm. If I see a question here that if you have community college credit, that if you took through a dual enrollment course or anything like that, you want to make sure that you submit all of those final transcripts after you've finished all those courses. Some schools do it to where some schools put it on their transcript, some schools don't. Either way, if you're taking dual enrollment classes and you're getting community college credit while you're in high school, you want to work with that school to get that final transcript sent over to the College of Charleston once you finish those courses. So make sure whatever school you're working with or whatever school you're taking courses at, work with them to get that transcript sent over. They're just like a college, just like we are, so they'll have a process for getting that done. And so that way we can get all of your final scores there.
Thank you, Kadeem. Let's see. There's a great question about connecting with people for roommate options prior to paying, I guess, the enrollment and housing deposit. You can certainly always look to the official CofC Facebook page. I know you're probably like, Facebook, who uses Facebook anymore? But we do have a CofC official Facebook page. That's one way to connect with people to see who's coming and if there's anyone that you think would be a good option to room with. And also don't forget that you are invited to or have been invited to attend regional admitted student receptions in your area. And so that's another great way to connect with other newly admitted students and see if you have anyone that you might want to room with as well. We've gotten a couple questions about club sports. Specifically, I see a few about club swimming, and I see that Tina is answering a question now, but no, we do not have a swim club anymore, or swim team for that matter. Yes, you can change meal plan options throughout the year. We have students do that quite often, you know, to assess which one is going to be the best for them. So yes, you can make changes from year to year. If you opt to have, a meal plan going into your sophomore year and beyond, you can change to select maybe dining dollars as opposed to 3 meals a day. So there's a lot of flexibility there, but freshmen are required to have some sort of meal plan that first year. Thank you for that question. All right. We are getting lots of questions about, again, club sports, and I definitely encourage you all to check out the club sports website to see a full list. Sometimes they do change from year to year depending upon student interest and participation, but you can see the full list of those on the athletics website. Switching majors is a topic. I don't know, Kadeem, if you want to jump back in and answer a question about around when students typically declare their major and what that process looks like.
So we do things slightly different than you may find at most schools. You technically aren't required to declare your major until sometime in your sophomore year. Now, what that does is it allows students to kind of take various courses that are still going towards the different degrees that we have at the College of Charleston, but you can still kind of figure out what your interests are. Because sometimes if you declare a major going into a school, then you're kind of in this rigid schedule. But at CFC, we do things differently. And that's part of having a liberal arts curriculum, is because it allows our students a little bit more flexibility, because you don't have to declare your major until your sophomore year. And by sophomore year, I mean no later than your second semester, your sophomore year. So some students do change majors, some change them once. I changed my major when I was in college. Granted, I didn't make a major change in my major, but I still changed majors, which required some different courses. Some changed them twice, some changed them 3 times. So students change their majors all the time. And thankfully, with our flexible curriculum at the College of Charleston, changing your major is not going to be this detrimental, oh, I'm going to be in college an extra year type deal, because we work really hard to make it flexible for students to prevent that exact thing happening. So you can change your major. That was a very long answer for a short question, but you can change your major.
Thank you, Kadeem. Let's see. Got a few more questions. Yes, we do have a surf club. That's a fun kind of, I feel like not a lot of universities can say that, but with our proximity to 3 beaches, we are certainly able to host a surf club. Let's see. What are the most popular clubs and organizations? Gosh, we have so many. We have over 200 different clubs and organizations for students to get involved with. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. And the cool thing is that if we don't have a club or an organization that you are interested in having at the College of Charleston, you can go through some pretty simple steps to start a club. Finding other students obviously that are interested in what you're interested in starting, and then getting a faculty or a staff advisor, and kind of going through the process. But you can start a club if there's one that you're looking for that we do not have already. And again, joining clubs all have different processes. So again, I encourage you all to check out our student life website, look through our list of clubs and organizations, and you can actually reach out to the point of contact, which are students generally, for any of those organizations that you'd like to learn more about. All right, well, we are at 7:50. We have just a few more moments here if you have any questions. Again, for housing related questions, we encourage you to attend the March 30th housing session. Again, that registration is open on the website, so you can go on and register for that if you check out the events page on our website and go to the registration calendar. But you'll also be receiving an email here very soon with more information on that event. All right. Well, on behalf of not only Kadeem and Tina, who have joined our session tonight, on behalf of our whole staff here at the College of Charleston Office of Admissions and the campus community overall. We thank you again for joining us tonight. We know that you have a lot to consider as you make your final decisions towards enrollment this fall, and we certainly want to be here for you every step along the way. You all have worked so hard and should be so proud of everything that you've accomplished this year to get you here as an admitted student. And we hope you'll stay in touch with us. But on that note, have a great night, and we hope to speak with you soon. Take care.